Good day, everyone. My name is Isai Amis. In today's topic, we will be discussing about the topic, or we will be continuing about the topic of Miss Saleha, which is the chapter 8. The lipids and proteins are associated in biological membranes. Now, let us begin. Lipids and proteins are associated in biological membranes. So now, let us discuss first about the membrane receptors. The first step in producing the effects of some biologically active substances is binding the substance to a protein receptor site on the exterior of the cell. The interaction between receptor proteins and the active substances that bind to them has features in common with enzyme substrate recognition aid. Meaning to say, if yung biologically active or kung active yung substance like yung hormones, yung drug, or yung neurotransmitter is gusto niyang maapektuhan yung kanyang cell, or it must bind to a receptor site on the outside of the cell membrane. On the other hand, these receptors are like locks, and the substances that bind to them are like keys. So when the right key fits the lock, it responds inside the cell. On the other hand naman, it's the way the receptors recognize and bind to substances, and similar to how enzymes bind to their substrates. Only specific molecules fit correctly and showing specificity. In short, membrane receptors help cells communicate with signals from outside the cell, allowing biological process like muscle movement, hormone response, or nerve signals. And now, let us move on. The lipid droplets are not just great balls of fat. In electron micrographs of fat cells, large fat droplets are easily visible. Very visible are the large lipid droplets. For decades, these structures have been thought of as great balls of fat, a convenient niacylglycerols for consumption. The term niacylglycerols, which likely means triacylglycerols or triglycerides, refers to the main molecules that store fat in these droplets. They're the body's convenient form of stored energy that can't be used when food isn't available. On the other hand, lipid droplets, it is a fat storage structures in cells, or ang niacylglycerols naman, it is the fat molecules stored inside them. In short, these droplets are not just simple fat balls. They play an important role in how cells store and use energy. Now, let us move on to vitamin A. The extensively unsaturated hydrocarbon B-carotene is the precursor of vitamin A, which is also known as retinol, as the name suggests. Tree-carotene is abundant in carrots, but it also occurs in other vegetables, particularly the yellow ones. Meaning to say, beta-carotene is a chemical found in some vegetables, especially carrots. Our body changes beta-carotene into vitamin A, which help us see in the dark, keeps our skin healthy, and strengthens our immune system. That's why eating carrots and yellow vegetables is good for you. They give your body materials to make vitamin A. In short, beta-carotene, vitamin A, or ang beta-carotene can produce vitamin A or retinol. It also found the vegetables like carrots, squash, sweet potatoes, and also yellow vegetables. And also, it helps us our vision, skin, and our immunity. Now, let us explain the first structure. The ring on the left is a B-ionon ring, a 6-membered cyclohexane ring 1 double bond. It has 2 methyl groups of negative CH3 attached a carbon 1 and 1 methyl group at carbon 5. So this ring system provides the base structures common in many vitamin A derivatives. And the pollen chain, or the middle part of this structure, it also attached to the ring, or the carbon 6, is a conjugated chain or alternating single and double bonds. This conjugated system extends across carbon 7 to 14 with 4 double bonds. The chain is responsible for the molecule's color, like yellow or orange, because it absorbs light in the visible region. It also contributes to the molecule's chemical reactivity or easily oxidized to retinal or retinoic acid. So, at the end of the chain, carbon 15 is a hydroxyl group of negative OH. This gives retinol its name retinol. All means it's alcohol. So this group can be oxidized to form retinal or vitamin A aldehyde or retinoic acid or the vitamin A acid form. Now, let us explain to another one. Retinol is composed of three main parts: B-ionine ring, the cyclic part on the left, and a conjugated polyene chain, the long carbon chain with alternating double bonds, a terminal alcohol group of CH2OH on the far right. So these three regions together give retinol its chemical or its chemical properties and biological activity. So this is a six-membered ring with one double bond. It has 3-methyl or negative CH3 substituent, 2 at the top carbon, making it look like a fork, 1 at the lower side of the ring. So this part is called the B-ionine ring, and it is hydrophobic, meaning it dissolves easily in fats and lipids. So the function of that, it helps retinol embed in cell membranes or fat tissues, making it fat soluble. So it connects to the ring is a chain of alternating single and double bonds. This is called a conjugated system, which allows the localization of electrons. The chain extends through several carbon atoms, labeled 7 to 14 in the previous diagram. It also carries methyl groups of CH3 inserting carbon. So the function of that is the conjugated double bonds absorb visible light, which is crucial for vision, and a retina, it becomes retinal, which react to lights. Now, let us proceed to the vitamin D. The several forms of vitamin D play a major role in the regulation of calcium and phosphorus metabolism. One of the most important of these compounds, vitamin D3, cholecalciferol, is formed from cholesterol production of ultraviolet radiation from the sun. Now, the vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin that helps your body use calcium and phosphorus, which are essential for building and maintaining strong bones and teeth. Now, the forms of vitamin D, it also vitamin D2, L-glucalciferol found in plants and fortified foods, and vitamin D3 is cholecalciferol made naturally in your skin when it's exposed to sunlight UV rays. And how vitamin D is formed? Paano nga ba siya nagpo-form? Inside our skin or inside your skin, there's compound called 7-dehydrocholesterol derived from cholesterol. In short, vitamin D3 cholecalciferol is made in your skin from cholesterol. When sunlight hits it, it helps regulate calcium and phosphorus, keeping your bones and teeth strong. Now, let us proceed to the vitamin A. The most active form of vitamin E is a tocopherol, figure 8.35 in rats. Vitamin E is required for reproduction and for prevention of the disease muscular dystrophy. It is not known whether this requirement exists in humans. Meaning, in humans, it's not fully clear if humans need vitamin E for reproduction in the same ways as rats. However, vitamin E is very important for maintaining healthy skin and eyes, strengthening the immune system, protecting against cell damage and aging. And vitamin E also, it is a tocopherol, is a fat-soluble antioxidant vitamin that protects cells from damage in animals. It's vital for reproduction and muscle health, while in humans, it mainly acts to protect tissues and support immune function. Now let us proceed to the vitamin K. The name of vitamin K comes from the Danish coagulation because this vitamin is an important factor in the blood clotting process. The bicyclic ring system contains two carbonyl groups, the only polar groups on the molecule. The vitamin K helps produce prothrombin, a key clothing factor made in the liver. It acts as coenzyme for an enzyme that modifies these clothing proteins, allowing them to bind calcium, which is necessary for proper cloth formation. And also, you can get vitamin K naturally from green leafy vegetables, spinach, kale, broccoli, and cabbage, and also livers and eggs. Bacteria in your gut produce vitamin K naturally. Vitamin K is a clothing vitamin. It gets its name from the Danish word coagulation and helps your body form proteins that stop bleeding. Chemically, it's a fat-soluble molecule with two carbonyl, carbon, and oxygen groups that make it biologically active. Next, let us proceed to the prostaglandins. A group of compounds derived from fatty acids has a wide range of physiological activities. They are called prostaglandins because they were first detected in seminal fluid, which is produced by the prostate gland. It has been shown that they are widely distributed in a variety of tissues. Prostaglandins are a group of compounds derived from fatty acids, especially arachidonic acid. They act like hormones, but with one key difference. They work locally in the tissues where they are produced, not throughout the entire body. They are called prostaglandins because scientists first discovered them in seminal fluid, which is produced by the prostate gland. That's where the prosta part of the name comes from. Later on, researchers found out the prostaglandins are actually present in almost all body tissues, not just in the prostate. Prostaglandins are hormone-like substances made from fatty acids. They were first found in the prostate gland, but are actually found all over the body, where they help control inflammation, pain, blood flow, and many other vital functions. Now, let us move on to fatty acids. In early 2011, researchers reported online in the journal Nature Neuroscience that deficiencies in omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids alter functioning of the endocannabinoid system. Meaning to say, fatty acids are building blocks of fats in your body and in the food you eat. They are long chains of carbon and hydrogen atoms. Some are saturated, no double bonds, and others are unsaturated or one or more double bonds. Omega-3 fatty acids are a type of polyunsaturated fat, meaning they have more than one double bond. They are called omega-3 because the first double bond is located at the third carbon from the end of the chain. Now let us move on the vitamins B12. Vitamins B12 has the largest and most complex chemical structure of all the vitamins. It is unique among vitamins in that it contains a metal ion, cobalt. Now, the vitamin B12, also called cobalamin, is a water-soluble vitamin. It plays an essential role in your nervous system, red blood cell formation, and DNA synthesis, the process of making genetic materials. Now, why it is the most complex vitamin? Because vitamin B12 has a very large and intricate molecular structure compared to other vitamins. Its molecule includes a corin ring, special ring-shaped structure that holds a metal ion or cobalt at its center. So this vitamin B12 complicated the simple structures of vitamins like vitamin C or the B complex vitamins. So vitamin B12 is the only vitamin that contains a metal element, cobalt, or symbol of Co. Now, this image depicts as sagittal views of a human head, focusing on the brain and its internal structures. So, electrodes are placed within the brain connected by cables that run under the skin, over the skull, and under the scalp. So, deep brain stimulation, or DBS, it is a neurosurgical procedure involving the implantation of electrodes within specific areas of the brain. These electrodes deliver electrical impulses to modulate brain activity. Ngayon, paano ito mag-work or how it work? First is yung electrode placement. Electrode placement, it also electrodes are precisely placed in target brain regions. And another example of that is isa sa mga nag-work dito is yung pulse generator, which is the electrodes are connected to a pulse generator similar to a pacemaker, which is typically implanted under the skin in the chest. The third one is electrical stimulation. The pulse generator sends control electrical signals to the brain, which can help regulate neural circuits.